Good morning, I'm Chance Stickland and welcome to KX News on the Go. 2 adults have been arrested following the death of a young girl back in March. So according to the Stanley Police Department, officers responded to a medical emergency in the 300 block of Adeline Drive in Stanley for a 3-year-old who wasn't breathing. When officers arrived, they found the child unresponsive and initiated life-saving measures. EMS arrived shortly after and took her to the Mountrail County Medical Center, where she was declared dead. However, the child showed signs of physical trauma, so an investigation into the circumstances surrounding her death began. On Friday, 2 adults authorities say were known to the girl were arrested and booked into jail on the charges of murder, child abuse, and domestic violence. More smoke is swinging back our way here in North Dakota, coming from the fires up in Canada. Of course, the increase in smoke means worsening air quality, making it uncomfortable to breathe and in some danger for some groups. Now, the air quality index, also known as AQI, is measured on a scale starting at 0 to 50, with green being healthy. You see it there on the top of your screen. It all goes all the way to 301 or more, which is that maroon category, and of course, purple being close to the worst as well. It's also considered hazardous to breathe. So if you want to monitor the air in your area, the North Dakota Department of Environmental Quality urges you to monitor airnow.gov, which gives real-time data. So those with the department shared, these are a few things you can do to protect yourself, your health, including staying inside with your windows and doors closed, limiting or even avoiding outdoor activities altogether, and setting air conditioners and vehicle vents to recirculate the air. So those who are sensitive may have symptoms even if levels are moderate. So if it reaches unhealthy for sensitive groups or unhealthy, it is best to stay inside. Currently, there are 218 active fires burning in Canada, with 96 being categorized as out of control. Ticks are a nasty creature, but the worst usually lies with Lyme disease. But unfortunately, that isn't your only concern now. Just last month, researchers said they identified the first case of a longhorn tick infected with a certain pathogen. So infections can give people fever, chills, headaches, muscle aches, and stomach issues. There's also a worry regarding another parasite, and that it's similar to that. The same ticks that carry the bacteria that can also cause Lyme disease can carry this parasite, which then affects people's red blood cells, causing anemia and other very serious consequences. While both viruses are very rare, the CDC says some don't have a treatment or cure, so prevention is what's most important. You can avoid ticks by wearing long sleeves and pants in bushy and wooded areas, using bug repellent with DEET, and doing a thorough tick check on yourself and your pet after spending time outdoors. Here's Andre now with a quick check of your forecast.
Well, thank you so much, Chance. And looking here in Garrison, we are seeing those hazy and mainly sunny conditions at this time. And temperatures are at 51 degrees, and the winds are out of the north and west at 14 miles per hour, allowing for us to see these hazy conditions. And Dickinson is also seeing a little bit of the haze too, and temperatures are at 41 degrees, and the winds are out of the west at 8 miles per hour with a visibility of 6 miles. Now, as we head over into our current storm team radar, the clouds are starting to erode right now, but however, we are still left with a little bit of that haze across the viewing area, so you want to be careful when going outside for sure. And as we head into our visibility is looking quite rough in a good bit of our locations, including there in Harvey and also there in Rolla, and even some 7s and 8s in our north and central counties. So again, make sure that you're being careful, including here in the capital city, where is at 8 miles, and our winds are out of the north and west about 5 to 15 miles per hour, pulling that smoke from Canada, and that is going to continue over the next 24 hours. And as far as our current temperatures, our temperatures right now are mainly in the 40s and 50s, and these temperatures are quite divided because of the clouds and clear skies that we saw earlier today. And the reason why we're seeing all of this is because we have this area of high pressure to our west, and this is going to be providing us with that northwesterly flow. So that's something to really keep in mind as you have any sort of outdoor activities that you may need to do. Now, our highs for today will mainly be in the 70s, which means guess what? That spring meter will be at a level 5 for today. But as far as the overnight lows, temperatures will drop on down into the 50s, and we will continue to see that smoke increasing overnight tonight, and it's really going to pick up steam once we get into our Tuesday. This is 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and this is where we're really going to see that smoke a little bit more intense in our north and western areas, and it's going to spew its way towards the south and the east here, and it's going to encompass more of our viewing area by the time we get into around 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And as we head into our about overnight hours, that is where those smoky conditions will start to improve, and we're going to be continuing to watch this for sure if it continues into our Wednesday. And our highs for our Tuesday will only climb up into the 80s, so it's going to be feeling a little bit above normal for this time of year, about 5 to 15 degrees above normal, so that's something to really watch out for sure. But as far as the next week ahead here in Williston, we will continue to see those temperatures drop down into the 60s by the time we get into our Thursday and Friday, and perhaps maybe a little bit more of an active pattern starting to take up shape here, so that's something we're going to be watching very closely here. And one thing to note, the windy and breezy conditions will return by the time we get into the later portions of this week here in Williston. And in Dickinson, we will see those temperatures drop down into the low to upper 60s by the time we get into our Thursday and Friday, with breezy conditions returning by the time we get into our Thursday. Now here in the Magic City, we will continue to see those temperatures drop down into the 60s by the time we get into our Thursday and Friday, and we could see again the active pattern set up as we head into later portions of this week and into the weekend. And that same thing goes here in the capital city too, with temperatures dropping down into the 60s by the time we get into our Thursday, with those breezy conditions returning too. And then we're going to be increasing temperatures as we head into the weekend. So Chance, we're going to be watching for the warmth and the smoky conditions over the next couple days.
Sure are. All right, Andre, thank you. Well, for everyone here at KX News, I'm Chance Sticklin. Have a great day.